inside intel of government.
That's right.
Are you ready to talk about that? Because
Sure.
we are live right now, and
Absolutely.
a lot of people will say throw a stone or rocks or bread on you. How could you do this? How could you tell this? Do you have a proof?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the proof is on the website, tyrantsattorney.com, and it's in the book. But you know,
But book can also say lies.
there are lies and there are damn lies, but the facts are facts, and facts don't lie. This book and the website
This is all
presents the
validatable.
facts. It's all validatable. That's how I won this guy over. This guy
Well, I
came to
can
me
tell
as
because
an adversary.
you become emotional. I can tell that you know what you want to seek justice, but there's no justice.
Well, it isn't
because you
the
find
emotional
out the
aspect.
corruption.
It's having to go back when you're talking. You have these discussions. You've never been in a hole, so you don't know what it's like.
Of course.
It's not very nice. It's very, very bad. And they try and break your spirit. They put you through tortures. They do all kinds of things go on in there that people are not aware of. That no human being should have to be subjected to, no matter what they do. And now they're mixing the murders in with general population. They're letting them walk around on trapezoids. They're like Gumbies on a doorknob, walking all over the place. They know they're getting high. The free staff's bringing dope in. Dope, there's more dope in there than probably is on the streets. It's sad.
For those 10 years, do you forgive the government? Do you have that anger or hatred?
No, I don't have no anger. I'll
I'm
forgive
sorry.
them, but I'm not forgetting it. That's all. I won't forget it. I'll forgive them, but I'm not going to forget it. But the very same people who are putting people in prisons deserve to be in prison themselves.
Do you think so if President Trump will win again, and I know he's going to win, and I hope he's going to win, do you think so he's going to go to this situation that, hey, let's seek justice?
Oh, yeah, I believe
Well,
so.
these people that are coming after him, these people are communists, okay? They are blatant communists.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've corrupted our legal system. They won't prosecute anybody whose family is a Democrat or who's a
Sis,
Democrat.
can you get some napkin?
No, I'm okay.
Do you? No. I mean, I can feel him. I can feel him that I just like, I'm the one who's like excited or it's not angry, it's not, because I'm with you. I mean, it's true. This all running bullshit candidates, I'm so sorry, but it's true. I try to help everyone. I try to, help them out. Hey, vote for this guy, vote for this person. But I know they're not doing their job. They just make so much
Well,
promises.
You know the people behind this, Ross will tell you what they did. They passed NRS statutes. And tell her what they passed them for, Ross. Why did the LCB pass statutes, NRS statutes?
Oh, because they have statutes. So what happened, just go back to the beginning here. What happened in 51 is they tried to pass the Nevada revised statute. They got rid of all the statutes at large, which is the laws that are all mixed together in each bill, right? Each bill might have, under a certain subject matter, have 2 or 3 things in it, right? But what they did is they got rid of all the statutes at large. So they did away with them. Then they tried to pass the Nevada revised statutes. And what happened is they screwed it up. They didn't put the right language, the enactment language. And the law says that if an enactment language is not on the bill, it can't be passed. Even if you vote it in, it can't pass. It's not valid. So they tried to do it. So then they said, oh, wait a minute. We screwed up. So they said, oh, let's put a Band-Aid on it and nobody will notice. So they passed a resolution to pass the bill. But you can't take a resolution and pass a bill. That's another law that they violated. Okay, so then they said, well, what are we going to do?
Even the bill wasn't submitted in bill form. It was submitted in typewritten form.
All kinds of
It's all
rules.
illegal. There's
All kinds of right.
all along the way, every failure.
All kinds of rules they violated.
The whole got bigger.
It's supposed to be voted on 3 times. There's no record of any of that stuff going on. So therefore, it's not a law. Okay.
So you're saying, like, one thing I like about former President Trump is, I know he's vulgar. He say openly
Right.
that he should not do that, but he did what he did so that the people of America understand that behind our closed door we have so much corrupt.
Right.
And what he's trying to do is stop the corruption.
Well,
Stop.
we figured a way how to strip them of their immunity by holding them accountable. Judges, DAs, lawyers, all of them. And they're all going to get it.
So let's get back to where we left off though real quick. So what happened is they didn't pass the law. Then they tried to fix it and they didn't fix it. So now they said, oh, what do we do? So what they did is they passed a statute that they say amended the Constitution. The Constitution of the state of Nevada says that the Secretary of State shall be the repository for all legislative
Article 5,
And-
Section 20.
and executive records, okay? So if you go up there to the Secretary of State and write a letter to them and say, hey, I need the records of this session, they go, "Wait, we don't have anything." Who has it? The Legislative Council Bureau has it. When it was in the Secretary of State's, under their auspices, which it still is, according to the Constitution is not amended by a statute, you can't do that, that's also illegal, so that amendment is still there, the people's document, the Constitution belongs to the people. Only the people can change the Constitution. So what do the government do? They don't care about the people. They pass a statute and think that they change the Constitution. They transfer all the legislative and executive records to the Legislative Council Bureau, a private corporation where their records are private. And now you can't get any of them, even though they're
They don't even
public.
have a foreign filing in the state.
Speaking of this, okay, you said private corporation. From the beginning, right, let's talk about the private corporation, because this is going to be adapted to marijuana, right? Because I think that's private corporation who manage their money. According to the federal law, marijuana is still not legal. But why the state open all over the states? And every corner of every city in every state has the legality of this marijuana.
Well,
But why they think the federal is still? Because they think it's drug. So what about the Parma? Parma is drugs.
right. Well,
It's
but
worse than marijuana.
They're in bed together. See, what you don't understand, federal government is the biggest distributor and manufacturer of drugs, including illegal drugs. They're involved in it, the CIA's involved in it, the military's involved in it,
Yeah.
and they have been since before Vietnam. I mean, when we went back and took Afghanistan over, from the Taliban, the first thing that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers did is rebuild all the poppy fields, set up irrigation canals.
And grab the rare earths.
And grabbed all the rare
That's
earths.
what the war was
so,
about.
So they set up the poppy fields because they wanted the farmers growing poppies again. Why would the Army Corps of Engineers go in and set up an irrigation system for a poppy field? What possibly could they have gained from that? And the thing is, they're in business with these people. Even the Golden Triangle. Bo Gritz went over, wrote a book about it called America Betrayed, okay, where he went over there to look for Ronald Reagan and went over there to look for POWs and MIAs, and he didn't find any. But what he did is he ended up in the Golden Triangle, and they said, "Oh yeah," Kuhn Saw said, "We've been in business with the Department of Defense for years. They just built me a beautiful 75-mile road to the airport so I can transmit all my product down, and they pick it
So
up."
that you call private corrupt corporation.
Well, no, those are government entities because what they do.
Okay, government entity corrupt corporation.
Well, see, here's what happens. The military, CIA Airlines at that time was Air America. Now it's FedEx, and what happened is that they would fly in, they'd drop off bullets and guns from the military, and pick up the heroin and fly it into a military base where there's no inspection. Go to a hangar that's set up for the CIA. Take all the drugs out, put them in trucks, and drive them right off the base.
So we have a meeting being set up to meet with this governor. This governor has an opportunity to become probably, if not one of the most,
Are you talking about Lombardo?
Yes, he has an opportunity to become the most famous governor in this state.
Well, probably
Once he's made aware.
probably
So
in the
I
whole
want to
United
be in
States.
there. I want to be. When is this gonna happen?
It's being set up right now, and they're going to notify
Yeah,
us.
so we're going to see what his reaction to all this stuff is.
And if he continues on with that,
Is this gonna be? Is this
this
gonna be a private discussion?
I don't know
Is this
yet.
gonna be an open forum?
we were invited to a function the other night for Down Syndrome Foundation, and he was there, and we were invited to be there, and I said, no, we're going to decline. because we don't want media to misconstrue that Joe Lombardo compromised or did this or that, or they did some kind of funkiness. We're giving him a fair opportunity, walking in the door like an average citizen, presenting the facts and the evidence to him.
Let him read the
and
book.
then let him read the book, let him go to the website, read it, and then make a determination what he's going to do about it. And if he doesn't do anything about it, he wants to cover it up.
Are you trying to seek justice and put this in perspective that it's going to happen?
This isn't even about justice. What it's about is who is in charge.
Yeah.
We are.
Okay,
We
so
are. The people are in charge.
The reason I say seek
They've done
justice
hijacked
is
everything.
there is still an answer in question to what you're looking for.
These people have to answer to us.
That's what I'm
to
saying,
the public.
seek justice.
They have to answer to us.
We want to answer to
we
the
don't,
public.
We don't want these
We the
people. We don't
That's
want these
what-
people going to jail. But if they continued in the same line that they're going down right now and refuse to admit that they screwed up, then that's where they're going to end up.
That's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah.
a part of the seeking justice to
We're going to give them the
get
chance that
Yeah,
they never
that's
gave
what-
us.
See,
that's
having
okay.
the baby's been passed on.
Correct.
You didn't ask to be here. Your
Correct.
parents didn't ask to be here. But we
Correct.
chase it all the way back to origination and destination. There's an origination, there's a destination. What do you do along the way in the destination? Same with these people. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt. We know you didn't know, but now you do.
And what are you going to do about it?
What are you gonna do about
Do you
it?
think so it can be
And that's where the tyrant's
acknowledged?
attorney-
Do you think so it can be looked at? Do you think so it can be written, you know?
They have to. That's where the tyrant's attorney comes in. You want to commit tyranny and usurpation after you become aware of something,
Then you're a tyrant or tyranny.
then you're
When you
there.
know what's in this book and you continue to do what you're doing, then you are a tyrant or tyranny. You know, for
But
us,
that's for years and years and years
No,
and
no,
years
no,
and
no, no,
hundred
Doesn't
years.
No,
matter.
no.
Doesn't matter if it's 1,000 years.
Yeah.
The bottom line is it's wrong.
it's
It's now the stealth
Do you
fraud.
think so it can be corrected, or we rather bring it to
Well,
whoever's going to be
let's-
the president of the United
let's
States?
look at it like this. You're basically talking reparations, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at the issue of black people that were slaves or whatever. Not all the black people in America were slaves, or their family weren't always slaves, but some of them were, and for generations. Now, a lot of these people want apartheid. Well, my family never owned slaves. Okay? His family never owned slaves.
These
So-
people have made slaves out of people.
yeah.
These people.
So the problem is, though, is that was over 100 years ago, 140 years ago or more. You know, do we have to pay all these people? Do we owe money? Look, just get it right and we'll forgive, but not forget, okay? And we want some other things changed. There's a lot of things that need to be changed with our government, okay? A lot of things.
Well, number one,
Yeah.
what do you think need to be changed? Give me
There
one.
needs to be less government, less fees. You know, you pay taxes on
all
so many
these
different
private
things.
prisons have got to be straightened out.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing about, you mentioned that, imagine getting a corporation here, it's gonna cost you 750 already.
Yeah, that's
1,000.
ridiculous.
And you're not even had a business yet.
Well, let me ask you
That's
something.
corp.
Where do you think
LLC
the
is
$750 is
450.
going?
Government?
No. It's going right back in these people's pockets to control it and pass it back out again.
The people that failed with the state retirement system because of quote-unquote bad computers, bad robots. They had bad robots working for them. And so computers do what they're told to do, but now we're going to use the same analogy that we need to outlaw spoons because that's what makes people fat.
Hey, the musical chairs are about to start. There are going to be some people caught standing up.
Yeah.
The ones that are
This
caught
is-
standing
this
up
is,
are
you
going
know
to be in
what?
big trouble.
This is a very, very interesting conversation, and it is so overwhelming. It's like it's so many that I cannot comprehend which one we're gonna tackle. I mean, I think tackling what you're trying to do is basically the corruption of the government.
We have to clean it up. We have to give people the opportunity to come to Jesus on this, so to speak, you know. And if they don't want to come to Jesus, well then, burn in hell.
Yeah, let them replace the people they sent to prison. Let them be there. Because that's where they deserve
So,
to be.
an eye for an eye and a prison cell for a prison cell, you know.
Right.
But the bottom line is like I said, if they want to continue down the same line, then they deserve whatever they get. And basically, since they're violating the Constitution, and the Constitution is the people's document, not the government's document, it's the people's document, because only the people can change the Constitution. If you make war against the Constitution, you are making war against us.
Well, you never get justice until today. You know how I listen to you and how you want these things to happen and how you want this that the government knows, hey, enough is enough. And until today, I can feel you that you're emotional because you didn't get the correct justice. Yes, you're out, but it's still there, the grudge that you have for what they did to you.
Well, it's the abuse that went on that affects it.
They stole 10 years of his life,
Yeah.
and during that 10 years, they abused him repeatedly. The food they serve in the prison says right on the box, not for human consumption, and they feed it to the prisoners.
You got rabbis 3 states away blessing the freezer for the people that are on kosher food. That ain't the way it's written. They're supposed to be physically there doing that.
They are the...
So you're saying when you were in jail, the food that they're feeding you are inhuman?
Pig slop.
Yes, it's
pig
poison.
slop.
Yeah. It's causing, it's enhancing diabetes and causing diabetes.
What's the other reason why?
Well, I
once
thought
people
they're
get their
cooking,
limbs
I thought
cut
they
off.
have the chef that they're cooking some, the
No.
way they shoot
There is no
movie.
chef.
There's no chef.
There's no chef.
It's inmates.
Prison
And they have a
inmates.
free staff guy over it who incidentally, he takes the hot dogs out to the racetrack, sells them, but what he don't sell, he brings it back in and feeds it to the prisoners. Okay? That's what's going on.
They're already cooked and then...
There's $4 million worth of culinary equipment missing. Well, it just so happens that the warden has 2 5-star restaurants in downtown Las
What
Vegas.
jail? What jail?
Where do you think those
Which
culinary
jail did
equipment
you,
went?
Did you went? Which jail in?
Southern Desert. Well, I was all over. They shipped me up to Northern Desert,
Southern Desert is the one. It's in.
No,
the
it's up here. It's in
Wait.
Indian Springs.
right near the maximum prison.
High
Now, that's
prison.
another thing. People don't know why they build these prisons in these different counties. I'm going to tell you. That same group that we're challenging controls the consensus. And what they do, they build a prison, say, in another county. And they take the bed number that you're assigned, that becomes your house number, and they vote your vote. That's why they build these in different counties.
Wow.
That needs to stop too. There's so
That's
much
a lot of-
corruption.
This is
Voter
very, very
corruption.
interesting.
It goes
This
very
is-
deep.
Yeah.
Okay?
So...
But I challenge anybody, get the biggest law firm you want and bring them forward. All right? And they better be lucky that they don't get sued for representing knowing the truth. Because they could be liable also. And
So-
we're coming after them. We're not
So-
stopping.
Right.
So we're going to have our own war chest.
Here's-
We don't need
here's-
anybody to back
Here's the
us.
thing, because I want to connect all the dots here for everybody out there. Okay, so you really understand. So first, they passed the law, and they didn't pass it legally. Then they tried to hide the records. They transferred the records from the Secretary of State, which the Constitution says has to keep them. They give them to the Legislative Council Bureau, a private corporation. And,
Don't even have a form
and they
of
went
filing.
and they went from a public record at the Secretary of State to private records at the private corporation. So now you can't subpoena the private corporation, you can't sue them and get any of the stuff from that they're hiding from everybody to show all the corruption that's going on. You can't sue them and get it in discovery. They can't be audited. Well, that's the best
What about
criminal
the-
enterprise I could think of.
What about the 3 judges, Van Ether and Merrill, that sit on the Statute Revision Commission?
Well-
Writing laws, rewriting laws, and changing laws.
More
you
important
kidding me?
than that, and that's in our book, by the way, it goes into the history of all that, but more important than that is not only they say, well, the Nevada Revised Statutes is the codified version of the statutes. Well, that's interesting, but why is there a statute that says that the Legislative Council Bureau can change the words in a statute? Isn't that legislative? Legislative abilities from the legislature cannot be given to anyone else. That is their sole province. If they did, or they could do that, then that's a violation of the separation of powers doctrine. You cannot delegate legislative authority. It doesn't exist.
Now, Harry
So-
Reid created the Statute Revision Commission, and it's comprised of 6 Democrats and 6 Republicans. And of course, you have the tiebreaker.
Which is a Democrat.
Yeah, it's a woman. And
Well,
I can mention her name too, 'cause
I
she's
know,
running for
I know
office
Hillary.
here.
I know Hillary is a woman, but then again, is that a smart thing to say, or
No, I
that's a
don't
smart
knock
thing-
women. I love
I
women.
know.
And I think women in business need more of them. I think we
Correct,
need more
correct.
of them.
So
You know
you're
why? They have the
saying-
intuition that men don't have.
Who's Hillary?
It's the men that
So
screwed it up.
you're
You're talking about Hillary
saying
Clinton?
Hillary? No, you're talking about you're using the name Hillary, right?
Well, no, we're not. We're not using that name. We're just saying a woman. We're not saying what her name is, who is the
No,
tie-breaking
it-
vote.
I'll tell you who her
Very
name is. Her name's Barbara Kirkpatrick. That's who it is. She took Harry Reid's place on that board. Okay? She knows that all this stuff's illegal. All right? And she's going to be facing prosecution pretty soon. So if this gets out to her, I hope it does. Because it's going to be
But-
coming at her.
So.
I'm not fearing none of them.
Back to
No,
the, back
I
to the
mean,
dots,
because you find out the truth when you were in jail for 10 years. I mean, you
Yeah.
research yourself exactly what's going on inside the government.
That's right.
Right. So now he's figured all this stuff out, and now he finds out the records, the public records, are now private.
They've been illegally copywritten. Could you imagine that?
Well, the NRS now, we have a case, a court case, where the district attorney's office, a representative of the district attorney's office has admitted publicly
We have that document.
that the Nevada revised statute is not the law in Nevada.
So what is the exact law?
He says it's prima facie, which means it's evidence of the law.
You got to go back to common law.
And that the real law is the statutes at large. But remember, when they went to pass the NRS in 1951, they got rid of all the statutes at large. They got
First, they did it
Yeah,
first.
they
which
did it
is wrong. They should have installed the NRS, then made a codified version, and then gone in there and made all their changes and all. But they didn't do that.
See,
They messed
the
up.
federal system has a very unique, is not even comparable to the state system. In the federal system, they have all these rules made up for the codification committees and all that stuff. They don't do that here in the state. They have positive law in the federal system and non-positive law. They don't have that here, okay? And so what they do is they just go in and they just write whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they change the words, they change the meaning, they violate every precept there is as far as interpretation that's been laid out by the U.S. Supreme Court. They violate it, they do whatever they want, and then they let the Supreme Court of Nevada do the same thing. So,
Wow.
so what we have here now is we have a rogue private corporation that's like a ship sailing through the state of Nevada, flying under its own flag, doesn't have any kind of connection or relation really to Nevada, except that all the money it gets comes from Nevada. And what do? You can't find it. We've inquired, we've asked for a copy of all the stockholders in the company.
Oh, they don't even want to talk about it.
They said, no, it's a private company, you're not giving you nothing. So, well, then we went to the Secretary of State, and guess what? We have a corporation that's from another state, that was formed in another state.
We have a foreign filing.
We have a foreign filing here in Nevada. If I form a corporation here in the state of Nevada, the Secretary of State has a record of me, and guess what? The Legislative Council Bureau doesn't exist there. They're not registered with the Secretary of State. How do they do business in the state of Nevada?
Yeah, good question.
They have, not only do they have a presence
They
here.
call themselves a bureau. What is that? But yet they have a director.
It's all the shell game. It's all sleight of hand. It's all,
Well, you know what? A lot of people are doing that, not just in America, not just in Nevada. A lot of people are doing that.
and it's
They're
called
hiding it.
it's
They're-
called despotism.
Yeah.
It's called despotism.
But hopefully this will wake
so
people
that's
up
why
to
I
where
said,
they
how
won't
can you-
tolerate this.
How could you reserve this bigger than a wave?
Well, see, we're for, if we were, people like are in the legislature right now, we'd be trying to pass a bill for the Department of Redundancy Department so that we could put our friends in charge of that to be redundant and pay them redundantly so that they can wear the name badge, redundant, But point is, a lot of this stuff is just nonsense. Nonsense. It's crazy.
You need a massive tsunami to make this thing happen.
There's one coming.
There's one coming with this book.
And we build up enough
We're-
assets to trade it for money and use the money to kick it in
We're
here.
going to put a lot of money behind this,
A lot of
and
money.
it's going to be a national television. It's going to be embarrassing
You
for
need a
everybody.
massive expert lawyer
we're
to
gonna-
make this thing.
We're
happen.
going,
we
we
found
have one,
one.
we have one, and we're gonna pull everybody's pants down, and they're either gonna come to the table.
We
or-
found one, it's
or we're
known
gonna-
all over the
We're gonna
world.
pull their pants down, right in public, pull their pants
Are you
down.
ready to fight with the?
There's no fight,
I think it's a fight.
it's not a fight. What it is,
I
Maybe
know,
a-
but I use a fight because
Hopefully it'll be a mental
it's a
fight,
fight.
a fight.
Anything you bring it to the court, it's a fight.
Hopefully it'll be a mental fight,
I'll put
you know?
it to you this way.
not a physical one.
Yeah, I use the terminology.
But,
This
no,
is
but
a
these
big
people
fight.
will result
Well-
to physical violence.
Yeah,
These people will result to physical violence because they're backed into a corner, they're living in mansions, they have to give everything up, you know? And
Well,
they're gonna fight for it.
we're-
They're gonna be physical.
See, we learned from previous other people that when you corner a rat, you have to leave the rat a way out. Because if you don't leave the rat a way out, he's gonna come right through you.
He's gonna try and chew you up.
And he's gonna tear you up. So we're gonna leave this rat a way out, and that is come clean,
Put
come to the
everything
table,
back.
come to the table.
Give the keys back to the
and-
government.
And you know, stop doing this illegal stuff, you know, stop keeping the records secret so nobody can get to them, you know, no matter what. So the public records are now gonna be public again.
Give the state
You know?
printing company back to the state, give the keys to all the state buildings back to the state, and abolish the LCB.
Wow.
The LCB
Get
is-
rid of the lobbyists, get rid of the LCB,
the-
you know,
the
let
LC
people come straight forward.
The LCB is
so
in
you're
charge of all
saying
lobbyists.
lobbyists should not be in there,
Well,
I have
so
a
that
problem.
they can just go directly.
well, no,
correct?
Yeah.
here's the
A
problem.
lot-
I mean, we're having problem. When you went there, it's just like you're begging for them.
No, here's
Talk to me. Speak to me. This is what I want.
Pass
no,
this
no,
bill
no.
for me so it benefits me, not them.
Well,
That
see,
can't be.
see, I understand all that. Okay, that's necessary on some level. Okay, but here's the problem: who registers all the lobbyists?
The
LCB.
Yeah. You know
So
they have
who's-
their own police department?
A private
Can you believe it?
corporation has
Yeah.
their own police
They have
department.
their own police department. Can you believe it?
Don't you want your own police department for your corporation?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? You can call them police and they can arrest
actually,
people.
it's not a police. It's just like
No, they have police.
Well, they have police. They
And they are
right.
entrenched in Metro too. I got news for you. You know that, right? The LCB is.
Right. So here's
That one sergeant works for Metro and yet he's on their police staff. So they're in deep.
well, I mean, India they have their own police.
who
Right?
does?
India.
India,
Indians? Yeah, but they're a nation.
yeah.
They're not a corporation.
Yeah.
They have also corporation.
I know they
not
do, but my
non-profit.
point is they have an Indian
They're
nation.
still tied to the nation.
The corporations are not tied to the police. The Indian nation is tied to the police. Okay, it's
Wow,
completely different.
this
It's a
is
government.
this is a lot for us to know more about it. Maybe we can just make this as a series segment.
Yeah.
Let's do the segment, and we need to send to social media what you want to accomplish and what you want the government to change. I mean, there's so many things that you want to ask them to change, especially why do we still have to be lobbyists and anything, you know? But some of the project or the subject, government doesn't even want to look at it.
Now, this book is being written in Spanish also.
Yeah, this is what we'll talk about in our next segment. This is called The Law, The War on Words and Perception. And this is about federal law and has to do with your rights. It has to do with, talks about guns and why everybody needs to own their own gun. And even the liberals, you know, liberals own guns, by the way. They just don't want you to have them, okay? So, and they want to control you. It talks about, you know, getting arrested for domestic battery and convicted, and then saying that you can't own a gun after that. That's all illegal. And it goes into all kinds of things that have been done illegally by the United States government. Three main core things in here that you're going to find. One, there's two separate forms of law in the United States. One is in territories only, and one is in the 50 states. The problem is those two have been commingled illegally, and has changed the whole paradigm of your constitutional rights. The second thing is there are no police powers in the states for the federal government. The federal government has no police powers in the state. None. Zero. Okay? And the third thing is all federal law, unless it specifically states otherwise, only applies to territories. Now, here's the problem. No judges know this, and no lawyers know this. Why?
Well, the same here. You live, this addresses the state that you live in, and it gives the truth and the facts. And we stand ready to challenge anybody that wants to step forward to prove this wrong. Come prove it wrong.
We welcome it.
We welcome it.
We welcome it.
We welcome you with open arms.
We'll pull your pants down and we'll show it all to the whole world, because you're not going to overturn what's in this book. It's impossible.
And the website.
The only way this information can be defeated is by more tyranny, which means procedural issues that have been created to try to block us from getting it to the public. That's why we wrote the book.
Anyone who covers this up could be borderlining treason.
This book right here, the issues in this book have been presented to the court. The court has been squashing these things. We went to a hearing on this very, very issue in one of the district courts here in Nevada, and the judge was going to dismiss it because the prison did not send the prisoner down for the hearing. So he was just going to dismiss it, and then he said, oh, well, who are you gentlemen? And we said, well, we're with the press, and
We're the investigators.
We're investigators and investigative reporters, and we're interested in this issue. And so he said, oh, we're definitely going to hear this. I need to set it for a hearing because we need to get the prisoner here. 2 days later, dismissed by a senior judge. So his name wasn't on it. His name wasn't on the dismissal, so we couldn't say he dismissed it when he was running for re-election. You see what I'm saying? So all kinds of scandalous stuff going on behind the scenes. These people are doing everything. This book, the information in this book is radioactive, okay? And they're going to do everything that they can to prevent it from being publicly aired.
Amazon, thank God, they published it after we got through all of their legal and reviews and everything.
Anyway.
They published this book, and then we have a GoFundMe account set up. All that money goes to the prisoners to deal with them and their issues, because they're all held there illegally.
Let's find money for your gold mine. We don't need to get those, fundraising.
No, we do our own thing,
Yeah.
but it was set up originally before we signed these contracts and had all this commitment.
Well, the shows is actually can watch to several social media. Right now we're live at Facebook, and right now we're also live on YouTube. So next week we're going to be talking more about what's going on to the government. But let's talk about, why do you think they said the marijuana is still illegal? But a lot of people has these dispensaries, like the kind of globe that is created by Marty Hill.
Well, see, it's Big Pharma.
Yes.
They don't want it. They don't want people cured. They don't want. It's all a bunch of crap.
The reason I asked this, the reason I inserted this, because the money they stole, the bank doesn't still accept, the money that came from the
marijuana sales. Okay,
sales.
well, I can explain that to you real quick. Okay, first of all, the federal government, federal law only applies to territories, not to the states. But if you take something that's illegal federally and you go across state lines with it, then they say that they have jurisdiction over that through what they call interstate commerce, which they have control over, okay, granted, even though they don't have, their federal law has no application unless it specifically states that, which almost none of it does, okay, that it applies to the states as well. Now, that would be, for the federal government to come into Nevada and start executing their laws in the state of Nevada, I mean, on public land that's owned by the BLM or at a post office or the federal courthouse, the federal government has exclusive jurisdiction there. But when they come into a state and start dictating what the laws in the state, that's like somebody who's from China coming over here enforcing their law. It's no different. It's no different.
All right.
See what I'm saying? So here's what happens. Federal banks are federally regulated, and the federal government says this is our exclusive province. Now, they say they regulate banks so they can't allow marijuana money to be put in those banks, because that money is all moved all around, and if they move it all around, guess what? That means it's crossing interstate
It
lines.
still doesn't make sense to me, but anyway,
Yeah.
this is a government dictation.
That's all it
I mean,
is.
We have a little bit dictator, and we have a little bit communism, we have a little bit freedom, we have a little bit of everything.
Well,
So
even though
I
if we
was-
free up who's taking the marijuana money and not putting it in the schools, and we can free that money back to where it's supposed to go, it has to go in the right direction. They're teaching the kids about the homosexual stuff and everything else, and trying to do sex changes on young children and stuff. Do we really want the marijuana money to help support that? You know what I mean? We want it to
That's
go
a
in the
big question
schools.
now.
That's
We want it to go in the schools, and we want it to go toward education.
3 R's,
But-
not
You know,
the
it's bad.
3 transgender.
Right, and you
things,
know,
but,
you've got kids going to bed hungry at night. You got kids going without shoes. I mean, come on.
Why
These
do you
people
think,
gotta
I
be
know you
stopped.
become emotional when you
Yeah, it
when
does.
we talk about who you are and what you are in the past and how you never get justice, and if there's a way, do you think so the justice is still in favor in you?
Well, the Lord says, know these men by their deeds, the good deeds they do. That's where we're at. We want to do the good deeds that we've been given, the blessings of the knowledge and the capability in finding this out. I mean, this came from the higher power. It ain't just me. It's what drives me, you know?
That is so, a lot of people went to jail and they always come out and say, I got cured and healed by Jesus Christ, and there's a miracle.
Adversity, and you know that there's nothing that you can do to save yourself, who are you going to turn to? To ask for help, okay?
Well, I ask God for help.
You don't-
and no question
You
about
don't
it.
turn to, yeah, you don't turn to a
I
Dodge
believe
truck.
in you. I believe
He
in you,
blessed
and
me.
I just want to say thank you to this opportunity that you guys can share whatever your experience and whatever you want to happen and whatever we want to implement and whatever we want to, really make this thing happen. And I admire you to the dream that you want to take on, and I wish and I hope that we can get this funding to your gold mine so that all the dreams and all
We
these
have that
things
going
will
on,
happen.
yeah.
Well,
You
And
know,
I'm so proud to both of you.
I'm on the
that-
path
yeah.
and vision of becoming one of the richest men in the world. And it's not to be self-dominating or nothing. It's being able to eliminate the word no from your vocabulary.
Well, I want to be part of that.
We're gonna make that- we're gonna eliminate
legacy
that.
you have. I think there's a knowledge that I can learn from you guys.
Your 3 forms of basic wealth is mining, manufacturing, and agriculture. And we applied new applications to mining that's far advanced than the old antiquated way they're doing things. And they're on their way.
And we also want to thank you for being a wonderful interviewer and giving us
Yes,
this opportunity
absolutely.
to talk about some things. Obviously, we could go on for hours, okay?
Correct.
And this is just a drop in the bucket, really, this stuff here. I mean, my book, I discovered something nobody knows about. Even the dean of Harvard doesn't know. How is that possible? I didn't ever even went to law school. I don't even have a law degree. And
Well, you
know-
gotta
and I-
remember, before there were colleges and universities and inventors, they became inventors and they became scientists, and then they carried it into the colleges and they became professors and they created colleges. That's
So-
how it happened.
so-
It came from an ordinary person.
What I'm trying to say is that not all of the brilliance comes from the people that are quote unquote supposed to be brilliant because they went to Harvard or wherever. Some of the, if you look on the internet, you look, you'll see that the greatest discoveries in any field that have been made, most of them have been made from people outside of the field. The only way they could get it to work. A high school science teacher talked to them about making rows, and that changed it forever, and they were able to reduce it down to the size of a small TV. Because of a high school science teacher who never got credit for his idea, never got credit for it. All these other things. How did they come up with rubber for tires? Somebody took rubber from a rubber plant, put it on a grill, just wanted to see what it did if he cooked it, and it vulcanized. And so it became hard. That's where tires came from. Some guy was just playing around.
Dynamite, look at that.
Dynamite and sawdust.
It was an accident.
Yeah, it was an accident, and that, you know, that's the Nobel Prize comes from the Nobel brothers who invented dynamite. You know what I'm saying? So
Anyway,
Yeah.
we would like to continue, and I would like to learn more about them, and go to Amazon and go to 317 to find out tyrant and tyranny, and you will find out what they want to happen, that why the government is so corrupt, and why other people cannot seek justice, and what went wrong, and also the law written by Russ Hubner, and of course Tyrant and Tyranny by Gary Walters, and also Russ Hubner. You can learn about what's going on in Nevada. This is, I believe, in particular only in Nevada. So how the government is so corrupt, and why the corporate are so, some of the corporate level that they're trying to say is so corrupt, and their dreams is to actually help the homeless, because has been going on 100 years. The homeless is still here in Las Vegas. Who are in charge for that? Let's find out who is in charge for the homelessness of Las Vegas, or just I say Nevada. Once again, their dream is to put the housing next to the government office at Reno, and I think that's a beautiful area. I think all the homeless can get cured. They need to have a mental, behavioral, primary care, and all those care that they needed. But who are the homeless? As I mentioned, there's 3 or 4 category of the homeless. Homeless that doesn't want to be at home, homeless that they just lost their homes, homeless that they actually doesn't want to live in a good life. They want to be just like that. There's so many types of homeless. But then again, what that President Trump can do if he won again the 2024. Let's find out. Once again, my guests are wonderful and so overwhelming. I want to learn how to become a billionaire in a short time. That's what Gary said. Gary Volter said, you can be a billionaire in a short time. Let's find out.
The hardest part is about hanging on to it. That's the hardest
so
part.
you're still emotional. And Russ, and thank you so much for joining me today. And hopefully we can do this next week. And episode 1 to go to the episode 2. I just want to say thank you to the 317 South 6th Street, and of course my partner Marie Angel Larder. I just call her Angel Sister, Little Sister. And of course the team over here at 317 Along Prophecy and his family, and of course the one and only Mark Miyaoka, and I hope Mom Miyaoka is getting well. She is sick right now, and I love you guys. And to all the viewers, we have a lot of viewers that I seen in our Facebook. Thank you so much for watching Arielle Live TV, and hopefully your holiday filled with love and lots of food and gifts. I want to have a gifts.
Yeah.
thank you for allowing us in your home.
You're a gift.
And we hope you enjoyed our discussion, and we're going to do it again here, I think, in the near future.
You know, everybody educate themselves and go read it and go look at the website, tyrantsattorney.com. All the evidence is there and all the explanations and everything else. It's been made very simple for people to follow.
Hey, Rabbi, join us tonight. You said you want to be part of a dispensary. I know you're watching. I just saw you. Join us tonight at 7 p.m. Marty Hill, CEO and one and only biggest manufacturing in the USA dispensary, on your own dispensary, tonight at 7 p.m. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, and of course, we'll be right back next week with Jerry Volters and also Russ Hubner, and I'm sure I can pronounce it.
That's good enough, yeah.
Dang. Thank you, sis. I love you. And thank you so much. Happy holidays to everybody. I know my family back home, they're watching me, especially my mom. Mom, I will send you money.
From the imaginative mind of author Johnny Nevermind comes the new book, The Demiurged, a hip-hop conspiracy fable, now available on Amazon. Imagine a world where menace to society collides with the Matrix and Disney Pixar's Soul, all set to the rhythm of hip-hop. From the gritty streets of Pomona, California, to the mystique of the Philippines, journey through a realm of gangs, mysteries, and untold romances. But that's not all. Unveil mind-bending conspiracies, military secrets, and a message so crucial it might just be the wake-up call humanity needs as shadows loom. This novel is a thrilling comic book-paced adventure at first glance, but dig deeper and its horrifying truth will grab your soul. It's a revelation of our ancient adversaries, our world's clandestine resets, and the key to breaking free. This is just the beginning. Book 1 of a 2-part series that promises to uncover humanity's hidden truths and the path to our salvation. Are you ready to embark on the journey? Then order your copy of The Demiurged, a hip-hop conspiracy fable from author Johnny Nevermind. Available on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and all major online booksellers.